We are on the trolley, my friends, and we have a decision to make about what is happening in the next immediately. But it's actually worse because we're not even sure if this switch is gonna work. We don't even know whether we have the power to change the direction of what's going to happen in this country. On the off chance that you're not familiar with the trolley problem, it is a philosophical thought experiment in which there is a trolley that is on its way to hit 5 different people on the track. You have access to a switch and you have the ability to pull the lever and save these 5 people's lives, but if you do, you will be complicit in the killing of the person who is on the track. To be totally honest, I'm kind of sick of the trolley problem after having gotten a master's degree in ethics and a bachelor's degree in philosophy, but the question is relevant today. People disagree. Is pulling the lever, does that really make you complicit? Do I have to vote in this election, or can I just sit it out because it seems like all the options are bad? After Biden's terrible debate performance, many people think that it would be worse if Biden runs and we need to get him to step down. But we're not sure if we can actually throw the switch to get him to step down because it seems like he's on the trolley and has the keys and he can override that switch if he feels like it. And it's worse because not only are we not sure that we have the power to throw the switch, we're not even sure which of these tracks is going to be worse. We don't know whether Biden has a better chance or Kamala has a better chance because the track is getting shorter and shorter and shorter. And it's even more complicated because since it's a democracy, we're all arguing and we have to collectively decide which way to throw the switch. Part of why the trolley problem continues to capture the imagination of so many people is because it is a forced choice. If you do nothing, something is going to happen anyway, so you might as well do what you can to minimize the harm that is going to happen no matter what. One of my favorite professors is Dr. Kate Manne from Cornell University. She's a philosopher, and she wrote a critique of the trolley problem in her book Unshrinking, where she says it's probably bad that we're using such violent imagery to teach people about ethical issues. It's on page 125. It's real good. I wish I had time to talk more about it. But to hand wave at the excellent conclusion to chapter 6, it might seem unreasonable that we are being asked to throw a switch when we're not even sure whether the switch will affect the outcome at all. And it might seem unreasonable that the tracks are even set up this way in the first place. Who would tie 5 people to a track and force you to make this choice? But is this that much more unreasonable than being forced to choose between history's oldest presidents ever? Between a man who got visibly confused on stage before our very eyes, or and I have to look at my notes for this one, porn star, hush money, insurrectionist, climate change denying, anti-choice, book banning, my pillow guy enthusiast, convicted felon. Everything about this is ridiculous. So, to paraphrase the conclusion of chapter 6, it is part of the human condition to be presented with unreasonable options in a world never completely under control. If you're not careful, the unreasonableness of the world might make you into a nihilist. There is no cure for nihilism, but there might be an antidote. First is to find levers that are in your control, because for every uncertain lever where a crowd has gathered, there are many other levers with no one standing there at all. There are some switches in the world that only you have the power to pull, and recognizing that takes you out of the nihilism of despair and into the nihilism of responsibility, which is a lot like existentialism last I checked. And finally, while no one has a solution to the trolley problem, one of the ways to respond to urgent moral uncertainty is prioritarianism, epistemic or testimonial justice, and proximity, what Bryan Stevenson calls proximity. All of these deserve their own video, but in a word, listen to the people who will be tied to the track. Get closer to the people the world deems disposable, and question who isn't with you in the room with the levers.